Black Mous are the final faction that you unlock when you're playing DMZ, and the final mission that you have to do for them is the tier 5 mission Flight Plans. So to get there you have to have completed the other missions all the way through the other tiers for Black Mous, and then in tier 5 you have to complete 5 out of the 6 missions available. If you need help finding a group for DMZ, and I know loads of people have left me comments saying that they're having a really hard time soloing on this game, try checking out GamerLink. It's an app you can get on iPhone and Android. It's completely free. If you sign up using my link in the description below, then I get a little bit of commission from that, so I would very much appreciate people checking it out. But it already supports 350 games across all major gaming platforms. You can filter by region, skill, playstyle, communication, like whether people have a mic or not. You can choose whether you want it to be casual or competitive. Just set up your post, say who you're looking for, and then other people can get in touch with you. Warzone 2 and DMZ should be being added this weekend, so check it out using my link in the description below. Once you've done all of that, you can take on the final mission, and in this guide I'm going to show you exactly how to complete that mission because it's not incredibly obvious and you need a few things. But if you manage to do it, you get this weapon blueprint for the Lachman 762. It's called Balancing Act. It's black and purple. It looks pretty cool, and in theory you should also unlock the 3rd insured weapon slot. For us it's bugged. It's not working at the moment. It's still locked even though we don't have any more Black Mous missions to do, but oh well, you know, there's a lot of things that are bugged in this game. Anyway, let's get on with the guide, and if you find it useful or you just find it interesting, maybe you're just here to have a look at what the final mission looks like, don't forget to leave me a like, consider subscribing, turn your notifications on. Going to be doing plenty more streams over the next few weeks, getting all of the other factions up to tier 5 once White Lotus is fixed, and just playing loads of DMZ and Battle Royale and the raids when they come out pretty soon. So this mission is called Flight Plans, and before you do it you're actually going to need 2 separate keys, and annoyingly they're not keys that you can just buy from a buy station, they're keys that you need to get from random drops. So if you find these keys, make sure you don't like drop them or destroy them or use them up without having this mission first. You really need them to do it, and they're a massive pain to get. Massive thanks to bods in my community who had one of these keys for me and just dropped it for us. Sometimes there are perks to being a streamer. So the 2 keys you need are the air traffic control tower one, and then you also need the channel 7 editorial office key. Make sure you have the editorial office one. There is another one called like records room. You don't need that one, but make sure you've got those 2, so air traffic control tower and the channel 7 editorial office before you go into this mission, and make sure you bring them with you. The first step to this mission is pretty simple. You need to go to a dead drop, go to a dumpster, and pick up 3 USB drives. Now, frustratingly, it says that this dead drop is in the southeast of the city. It's not, it's more in the southwest of the city. It's this dead drop that's just in the alleyways in the canals area of the city. Go to that and you'll be able to loot the 3 USB drives from inside there and complete the first objective. Now you've got 3 separate locations that you're going to have to visit to complete this mission. I would say one of them is on Mount Zaya at the observatory, and if that's got the weapon case objective on it in your game, I'd probably leave it well alone and go exfil and come back another time. There's enough enemies up there anyway, there's enough AI up there without you having to deal with the Juggernaut and all the armored enemies and other players as well. So I would probably try to find a game where the weapon case isn't at Mount Zaya. But the first location you're going to go to is the TV station, so that's this massive tower block. Head up there and you need to go up to the top floor, and this is where you need that editorial office key. So go in there and open up the editorial office and then look around, and you should be able to find this computer, and it'll be a bit different to all of the other computers because when you approach it there'll be a separate interact prompt. Now weirdly my one says I need to press A. I'm using an Xbox controller. I'm guessing it'll say press X if you're on a PlayStation controller. It's really odd. You don't need to press that button, you still just press interact, and that'll put the USB drive in the computer, and then that will have completed that mission for you. It's worth noting at this point that you have to do all 3 of these in one game. You can't do it like one in one game and then one in another game. You have to do them all in one go. It will always be this computer, I think. We tried it a couple of times looking at the other one, at the Mount Zaya one, and it was always the same computer. So I think you should be able to go to this same computer and just keep going backwards and forwards until you get the interact prompt and then press interact on it. So now you need to leave the Channel 7 offices and you need to head up to Mount Zaya. You're going to the northernmost observatory, and this actually is the northernmost observatory, just like it says in the mission description. We found it easier just to drive up to underneath that observatory and then take the zip lines up. But bear in mind, when you get to the top of the zip lines, there's going to be a whole bunch of AI there, and they are going to shoot you a lot. You can't even just run into the observatory because there's more AI in there. I did that and got downed here, which kind of sucked. But in here you're looking for this computer. There's a bunch of computers around there, but it's just on the main floor of it, and it has this calendar above it. But same thing, try and find that interact prompt on it, or you could just mash interact when you're near it. And at some point you should see the USB stick go into it. There is actually like a modern little animation for it, which is kind of cool. And then once you've done that, that'll be the second objective completed. Now for the third objective in this mission, and the last objective, you don't even need to exfil for this mission, you need to go to the air traffic control tower down at the airport. Now the objective here is right at the top of the air traffic control tower in that kind of big room, you know, the one that looks out over the runways. I'm not sure if there's a name for that specific room, but anyway, we just landed on a roof, and then you can hop off and go in the door up there. You need the air traffic control tower key to do this, or you could go in from the ground floor and then just work your way up. It's up to you. I think there might be an elevator or something like that that'll take you up, or a cable that can take you up there. But once you're up there, you should be able to find the last computer. Exactly the same deal. You just need to interact with it once you find that weird interact prompt, and then put the USB drive in, and then you are done. That is completely finished. You don't need to do anything else. You don't even need to exfil. If you don't make it out, it doesn't matter. The mission is completed for you, and tier 5 for Black Mous is done. It was an incredible journey getting here. Like, we've had to complete so many missions to get to this point. We've kind of just focused down on Black Mous, so we haven't finished all of Legion and White Lotus yet, but we will go back to them. There are some incredibly hard missions there, so we'll see how it's going. At some point I will do a video where I do kind of a little hints and tips section on every single mission in the game once we've completed all of them. But if there's a particular mission you're stuck on, let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to answer you and give you some help with it. If you enjoyed these videos, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notifications on, and I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.